Good morning, beauties. We have the foggiest day here, so it's still really dark. But I wanted to be able to get this last smoothie, coffee, morning drink tutorial done for you to round out week 1 and get into week 2. You would have noticed in the group yesterday I put up shopping lists for day 1, for week 1 and week 2. I have carved out a chunk of time this morning where I'm going to jump on live and do most of those tutorials so that you have access to them for the fuller part of the week. I think that might be super beneficial for you to be able to grab at them. I'm also working on being able to host them on a couple of hidden pages on my website for you so that you can access them all down the track rather than having to jump into Facebook. But that's all a work in progress. So this morning, I want to talk to you about, I'm not sure if you saw on Instagram last week, but I was drinking turmeric lattes in white pants, and I was like, I live life on the edge. As I was mixing this morning drink this morning, thinking about the colour top that I had chosen as well, I was thinking that I was going to be in trouble. If you don't know me, I spill stuff messy. It doesn't work. So you might be wondering what this is. I know I keep it pretty stripped back and simple when it comes to morning drinks. I am a fan, even if you're just drinking water, I think that's amazing. Adding lemon, a little bit of apple cider vinegar if it's around, fantastic. I think that's a really lovely way to start the day. This guy is charcoal, pepper, cayenne pepper, super cayenne pepper. It is an activated charcoal. This isn't charcoal out of the barbecue, but it's a really lovely way to kind of mop up any toxins that could be cruising around in your body. I take it away from food. I'll tend to have it first thing in the morning, and then because it does interfere with the absorption of other stuff, if you're taking in medications or your digestive system isn't quite right, I would make sure it's really away from food. You want it to be able to do its job and then keep a good 2 hours after free of anything else going into your body. I find it really cleansing. I probably do it 2 to 3 times a fortnight. Sometimes I'll do it for 2 or 3 days in a row. Other times I'll be like, yeah, I just feel like I need that little feeling of feeling a little bit cleaner in the morning. So that guy there is half a teaspoon of charcoal. I like it quite spicy, so it's probably a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper as well, with fresh lime citrus and water. And I sip on that and I love it, and it's amazing. It's super dark, super gross. They often call it like a black lemonade. A lot of juice cleansers and stuff call it that. It's great, it's good. You do need to take a lot of water for it. Once again, if you aren't looking at, or not, I trust that you guys, generally look after yourselves. If your hydration isn't on point, if you are like quite strung out and you're using all of your body's water reserves and mineral reserves, I would make sure you maybe hydrate for a few days before you do it, because it's getting all of those toxins moving. You really need to be able to flush that out. So nice fibery meals for the rest of the day and lots of water as well, just to kind of make sure all of those excretory systems in our body are being able to take that stuff out. So that was my little one that I wanted to share with you. And because I change through what I do in the morning so often, I thought I would talk quickly, because we're going to talk about breakfast proteins a little bit more as well today. This is an unflavored gelatin. I find this is particularly good, and gelatin and collagen supplements are still massive. They've been massive for a couple of years. I guess going back to the whole nourishing traditions thing, really awesome proteins that are slow cooked out of joint-based stocks and broths and things like that. That's nothing new. That is something that's sort of the tenet of what I love about whole food and functional food for medicine. But this guy here, particularly if you have any joint, immune, gut issues, it's a really lovely way to get a gentle source of protein into your body without needing to worry about it. So rather than going for heavier meat-based, slow-cooked meat dishes or having a lot of cooked protein, this can be a really nice way to look after your skin, to look after your gut, to help with your joints, long term and taking that sort of pressure off your digestive system as well. The thing about this one though is that you want to do it every day for the entire bottle. So tablespoon at in the morning, tablespoon at night, and do this all day. There are lots of different brands around. I know this one is from the States. There are Aussie grass-fed beef gelatin things around as well. I can pop a few in the comments below. But this is one you do need to take every day because you are building up your stores of protein, and as you sort of get to that 60 to 90 days of cell turnover in your body, that's when you're going to start to notice that your skin looks fuller and tighter, that your joints feel a little bit freer in the morning. I'm a creaky joint person. I don't have great joints, so this is a part of the way that I'll do. I don't do it all the time, but I'll do like 90 days on, 30 days off. I just go with how I feel. It's not written in my diary or anything like that, but I've noticed a massive difference with it, and particularly with sleep as well, just making sure that you've got those proteins to help with those hormonal processes so you get some awesome shut-eye. So that was like very, very tiny little moments. It's probably like the only supplementation that I use apart from one of the protein powders I'm going to talk to you about today. But I hope that gives you a nice little insight as to those things that I use. And I guess the next thing, I don't know which way to go first. Like, if you have had a look through the book, you'll see my approach to coffee. I do keep it pretty real, and it is a personal thing. I love my 1 double shot flat white or cappuccino every day. Sometimes it's an espresso, sometimes it's a long black, but that 2 shots or 1.5 shots in the morning is totally fine for me. I know that's my balance. I know the barista that makes it, and I know where the beans come from as well. It is a beautiful ritual and a beautiful part of my day that I cherish. I'm not smashing down 4 Starbucks or even 3 or 2 Starbucks coffees without even thinking about it, using it as a like kick up the butt to get my day started. It is a considered part of my day that I love. When you find that you're using caffeine to be able to give you that kick start, whether it's for your digestive system so you can poo better in the morning or even just poo, or you're using it because psychologically you're like, oh, that's how I've got to get started, or you're leaning on it at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., that sort of thing, that's when you can start to really notice those sensitive effects on your nervous system, and that can really affect sleep quality. So you can get into this idea with sleep quality, and I should probably talk about sleep completely separately, where you have coffee because you're tired and you haven't slept enough, but your body may be so sensitive to caffeine that even that 1 coffee in the morning is actually what's keeping you up later at night. So being able to work out, we can definitely talk about sleep cycles and how all the different hormones work at another time if that interests you. If it doesn't, we totally don't need to. But that idea of whether, is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the coffee or the sleep first? Like, how did we get into this balance? Any of that generally means that there's something that might just need to be tweaked to be able to bring you back into balance, so that it is a part of your day that you enjoy and revere, and it's not something that you are entirely dependent on. If you are having 3 or 4 cups a day, in my experience, there is no nervous system that can really hack that, and that is going to have an effect on the quality of your digestive system, the quality of your sleep, and your nervous system as well. It will have an effect. It is also incredibly dehydrating. So keeping all of those little bits in place as well. Never going to say don't have coffee. I'm going to say enjoy it when you do. Know where it comes from and know how your body feels. If you know you can only do 1 shot a day, don't do 3. Like, you know, really honor how it works in your body. That being said, I'm going to do the coffee smoothie first, which I think is the first one on page 21. It is a yummy one. It is one that I only do quite infrequently, but when I do make it, I love it. Once again, you can make the coffee as you can make the smoothie as I've already described it within the recipe. I'm going to do it slightly differently today because it is kind of cold here and I'm not necessarily wanting something that's going to be super rich, and because I don't like to waste stuff, I'm going to be drinking this one after the tutorial. So I've got 200 mils of a cold long black that I've got here. I did grab it from my barista, but you can brew it yourself at home in one here. bring it here or through your filters, or whether you've got a pod maker or anything like that, that's going to be a totally fine way to go. Make sure it's nice and cool. Of course, you don't want to put hot things into closed things and then generate more energy. It will explode and cover your house in, I'm sure you've probably done it with pumpkin soup. The same thing's going to happen with coffee as well. So it's 200 mils of coffee. I am going to be using 200 mils of almond breeze. I'm not going to get into nut milks too much. I don't often use them. I think they have a place. If I am going to use them, I either have a firm plan in place as to what I'm going to do with the nut meal that's left over, or I go for an awesome brand that I know is unsweetened and that they are getting the most out of what's actually in the nuts as well. I'll post a link below about why I think that about almonds and nut milks in general. And if you guys want to discuss it, I totally will. I love it. So I'm not feeling like anything super sweet this morning. So I'm doing 200 mils of coffee, 200 mils of almond milk. I am going to go a full banana today, but I'm going to omit the maple. The maple is not going in. I don't need the extra sweetness. This, like this, is super delicious. The maple does add a really nice caramelly kind of toffee thing going on. Yaz, I know when you watch this that this is like one of your favorite smoothies, and like I know why. It is yummy. It's kind of like a banoffee pie, all sorted, all in here. So yeah, it is an awesome one. I've got the sugar, I've got the coffee, I've got some extra rice milk in there. We're going to want some fat in it to slow it all down so it can keep us feeling fuller for longer. In the recipe, I've mentioned coconut cream. Today, I'm going to go for a little bit of coconut oil, like 2 teaspoons, just a little bit. Have you guys seen the JP Sears thing on coconut oil fixing everything? I think we definitely get caught up in using coconut oil for healing everything. I'll post that for a little bit of a Monday laugh for you as well. So we've got all the deliciousness in here. I'm also going to add, I know this is in reverse for you guys, but this is the Prana Vanilla Cream Pea Protein. Fabulous company. It's a company of a good friend of mine where we used to train and do a lot of supplements and work hard, train hard, party hard. And he has this amazing, he's now a vegan and massive animal activist, brilliant, lovely human. And he has this amazing supplement company, a performance-based supplement company with some really great products. I'm going to add a tablespoon. This will add a little bit of sweetness. It's also going to add that 10 to 12 grams of protein, which is going to balance this out as a bit of a meal, which is a lovely way to start the day. I know we spoke about that breakfast experiment and seeing how you're going, but most people, compared to a fruit-only breakfast, do well with that little bit of protein to come through as well. That little bit of protein does help with that feeling satisfied for longer throughout the day. You're going to have the fiber in there from the banana, some good fats, and a small amount of good fats from the coconut oil in there as well, and then a little bit of a buzz from the coffee too. So I think this might be a favorite of a few. I'm thinking who's in the group, and I think this will be a favorite of a few of you. I've put my little buzzer thing down here so it's not too loud for you guys on the video. So I'm just going to disappear, like do the whole lift thing and disappear from the screen. I'll be back in about 10 seconds. Not long at all. Done. Holy, smells delicious. Adding some cinnamon to this as well is beautiful. If you freeze the banana, it will be a whole lot thicker. It is cold here already, so I'm not that keen for it. But there, you can see a delicious Prana Protein banana coffee mocha delish smoothie. So that one is the first one that I want you to fall in love with. That is pretty bloody delicious. It will be well loved, I'm sure. I'm just going to rinse this little duva. And we're going to do the green smoothie now. I know I've been nattering because I've been excited to talk to you guys, but I'm going to get down to business now and make sure that you're not watching this for 25 or 30 minutes. For the green smoothie, I know I've spoken about green smoothies so many times. They are the perfect addition to come back to a good home base. I know I just started to discuss that in the live Q&A last week, but when you feel that life has kind of just gotten that little bit busy, full on, there have been a few days where they don't feel like they're on point with your health goals that you know you want in the bigger picture, but life happens and it gets a bit confusing in between. For me, this green smoothie is something I can whiz up, enjoy, do that with like the charcoal drink in the morning, drink a litre of green smoothie throughout the day, and don't worry about anything else. Eat as normal around that. And it's a beautiful way to get extra fibre, which is going to help our digestion. Make sure I'm getting those bonus veg, which I know I've mentioned in the past tutorials as well. If you know you're getting that extra 2 to 3 cups on top of 2 cups that you have for breakfast, it kind of makes it a lot easier for your lunches and dinners to come up with 2 to 3 cups of veg so that you're at your 6 for the day. And I think that's super important, especially from my perspective where I'm like the assembler and I'm not the cook, and I want that minimum effective dose that's going to work. I love the green smoothie. As I said, this isn't going to be made sweet. I do make this not sweet first. I love for people at my workshops to try it like that, because then they know, like, well, for one, they know whether they like it or not. But they also know how close they are to liking it. If they take a sip and they're like, yeah, no, that's pretty healthy, but I know if I had a couple more sips, I could definitely get used to that, then you know you're in a good spot with it. If you start off with green smoothies that have 2 cups of fruit in them, one, I don't agree with that entirely for everybody as a blanket recommendation, but if you try and take any of that sugar away, you're going to miss it. The way our bodies work with sugar is to develop a very close and needy relationship. And when we start to take it away, our body's going to notice that it's not there. That enters deprivation, restriction, feeling like you're going without, feeling like you need to deal with a craving where there didn't need to be one in the first place. So from that point of view, I love to make this veggie-based green smoothie. If it is too green, too healthy, then you can add in a little bit of pear, you can add in banana or a little bit of mango in a way that when you take a sip, your body's going to be looking for that sweetness that you know you've added. You've already set your mind up to know that there is extra sweetness in there and you'll be hunting for it. Isn't that a more beautiful way to kind of compel your way to like, yeah, cool, now it's it's at that place where I love it, rather than taking away. And I know, yeah, I am big on adding things in rather than taking things out, but I think when our bodies are geared to being able to look for that little bit of sweetness, we'll find we'll hardly need any at all. So keep that in mind when you do try this smoothie, as to how that sits. Cucumber. I am making a slightly larger version for me today to fill up my jar for the week. I've got a cucumber. I'm going to go half an avocado to get some extra fats, good fats in, and also hope that this day warms up enough so that I actually want to drink green smoothie. If not, I'll totally, I think we've got good weather later in the week, so it'll totally be fine. Couple of leaves of kale. I leave the stalks on for these ones. This is going to totally get blitzed together beautifully, so we'll be good to go. A good handful of baby spinach. And for this one, I'm going to juice the lime. I used to just take the skin off it and use that, And sometimes when I'm feeling really, really healthy, then I will, I will do that, because I do love the fact that those extra bioflavonoids and stuff that are in the white pith will be going straight to my system. But some days you just don't want that. So I prefer just to juice it today and not have that extra sort of bitterness and digestive bitter thing going on. Because these limes are not juicy at all, I've actually decided to use 2. Use the end of the old season for the limes. I find that citrus and a lot of citrus within this makes it really more palatable in the absence of sugar. You still have that little bit of sweetness from the coconut water that we spoke about. Holy yum. This can all go in here. All go in here. I'm going to disappear again for a moment while I zhuzh it. Ta-da! We're done. I think I sang last time I came up as well. That is gloopy. That is limey and delicious. And so green. Where do I store it? I store it in another Kmart procured item that I think is amazing. And I know that this generally comes up to just over halfway for this one. For me, I'm more than happy to top it up with a little bit of water or coconut oil. So I give that a smush around and fill that up to the top as well. And it can happily sit in my fridge to be drunk as required throughout the day. So they are my favorite smoothies that I wanted to be able to share with you. I wanted to talk about that start to the day with that little bit of protein and fat to be able to make a nice complete kind of meal if you are using a smoothie as a meal. That green smoothie, as I've spoken about, extra fiber, extra water, extra veg, you're getting all of that goodness in. I call it the insurance policy green smoothie because it takes the edge off. You don't need to be, and you know this is a goal of mine for you, right? Like, I don't want you to be preoccupied with food. I want you to be able to create the food that you need and leave it. Know that your body is nourished and not be preoccupied with what you're going to be eating next. Because you know, if you've been following any of the stuff that I do, is that we preoccupy ourselves with food so that we don't have to deal with other stuff or engage with other stuff or play more. Or all of these good things happen when that preoccupation, do you like the rubbish truck? I'm sorry, I'll finish this up. When that preoccupation with food has gone away and you actually know that you're nourished and you got that sorted, there's so much more beautiful stuff to be engaged with. And you know you're doing it from a better place because you're giving your body exactly what it needs. And I think that's the key part of why I love to be that assembler and that minimum effective dose. That's why I want to demystify how easy it is to actually nourish yourself and to not have to worry about it again. When we do that, we get to deal with the true nourishment of ourselves. And I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to wrap it up because I know I've had your beautiful attention for ages. But that idea of truly nourishing yourself has got nothing to do with food at all. Food is often used to make us feel better about something that is uncomfortable within our lives. It is so closely linked to our own inner struggles. And if you saw me speak for the Just Saying project, you'll know this was the key thing that I was bringing up here. When you're using it as that filler, a little bit numbing away from that feeling, then that's one way to look at food, but that's not nourishing yourself. When you can nourish yourself with food, and then you can nourish yourself to feel those uncomfortable moments as they come up, hold space for yourself to actually see those parts that you need to show love to, forgiveness to, a little bit of healing, a little bit of love. That separation there, that is true nourishment of you. Has nothing to do with food. But food is a beautiful part that seems to come up, to get in the way of us getting to that part of truly showing up, to be able to support ourselves, to be able to live a bigger and better life. All right, I'm going to leave the rubbish truck. I'm going to leave you guys to a beautiful week. I will be popping in here all day, getting those other recipes that I've put the shopping list up there for you. But have the most beautiful week. And I will see you guys Wednesday night if you don't jump on any of the lives with me before then. And we will chat Q&A. Sounds amazing. Okay, have the most beautiful, beautiful day. See you later. Bye.